let's talk about the last one, Oxford.
Yes.
Yeah. How was it?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was like studying at Hogwarts because you really were
I saw your
studying
story.
at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. I mean, like, there's so much history to Oxford. I mean, Oxford University is older than the Mayan civilization. So if you take that into consideration, the places where you're studying, like the schools and buildings, are the same buildings that people who invented modern day capitalism studied in. It's just nice being able to sit in the same place and feel transported back in time. Pop culture wise, they'll explain, oh, this is the infirmary from Hogwarts. If you remember, that is where Emma Watson is taking her fellowship. And yet, I did not get to.
Perfect.
So how's how's the pickup on YouTube?
But it's good.
Yeah,
Marami naman views.
that's good.
Depending on
Depending on your guest. and what
depending
the
on my
topic
guest,
is,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's doing well. So let's start the show.
Yeah.
Actually, it's already starting. Welcome to an episode of Dashboard Confessions, guys. My name is Wayne. This is introduce yourself, Ron.
Ron and
Not yet. I haven't done
okay.
the introduction. Usually I
there's
have
an
an introduction.
introduction.
Yes,
Oh,
of course
okay.
I make an introduction. But
Okay.
yes, this is you see him already. So here's
I
my
don't even
intro
know
to you.
which camera I'm supposed to look at.
Which is his
This is
camera?
your-
That's
Is it
his camera.
it's this one. Hi.
Okay. Our guest for today is an award-winning author, journalist, entrepreneur, investor, a public servant of our country, a
Yes.
public servant of the Philippines. Before serving at his current position as chief of staff, he completed his programs at Wharton Stanford University. I hope this is right. I got it on Google.
Yeah.
MIT and Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Earned his master's in climate and society at Columbia University in New York.
dami
And recently completed his PhD in public administration at University of Perpetua. He also completed the chief of staff course just a couple of days ago at Oxford University. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Brian Poe Llamanzares.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me on your
Of
show.
course. Thank you for coming here. Dude, those are a lot of schools.
Grabe, hindi ko kinaya yung haba eh.
How long did you study?
I never stopped. So I guess more accurately, I focused on work from 2013 to about 2016. Then I started applying for, different programs. It started with a certificate program in strategic leadership with Wharton. And then I got bit by the bug. And then I never stopped studying since then. So, tuloy.
Do you mind how old are you?
I'm 31.
You're 31.
Yes, yeah.
So, okay.
So
you
technically, you've been studying for how many years na? Like
a long time.
Quite some time.
yeah. Walang tigil talaga.
Yeah.
You did pause for 3 years.
I did take a break muna. I needed to, get some work experience. Para when I apply, hindi naman instant rejection because I don't have any work experience.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For those 3 years, where did you work?
So for the first year or so, 2-3 years, I was working with my mom's office as a legislative officer.
At what
and,
age was this?
As soon as I graduated, because in 2013 when my mom ran the first time, I was actively involved in the campaign, but I was
Okay.
still going to school. So I graduated 2013. Sabay she got elected. So my first job was as a legislative officer in her office. My dad felt I was coasting by just working in the office, so I ended up quitting that job and being a reporter for CNN. CNN Philippines,
Yeah,
which at the
cool.
time was still 9 News.
Oh, okay.
So I was part of the pioneer batch of CNN Philippines. And then, of course, my mom ran for the presidency. And I had to resign as a reporter. And then I went back to working in politics. Yeah.
Working in politics. Okay, so most of the time when you studied, these are all international schools in the
In the US, yes.
So pabalik-balik ka nun.
Pabalik-balik. Well, it was more of like, for example, yung Wharton program, it was interesting kasi that was in partnership with the MVP school here. So they flew over the vice dean and like the professors to teach their executives here. And they opened up half of the cohort to private citizens that want to apply.
Okay.
So that was for Wharton. For Stanford, funny story. So I applied to Columbia University for the climate program. Kaso wala akong science units, pol sci major ako eh. So they said na I was kulang science units. So what I did was, to make habol that year, I took a program with Stanford that gave me credits in science. So that's how I got my science credits. Did that program with Stanford. Used that for my application for Columbia. And then I got in.
Cool.
Tapos, while I was in Columbia, I did my Harvard program.
Harvard.
Yes.
That's like a wow every time you hear Harvard. Actually,
know.
all these schools are wow.
Yeah.
But Harvard is like
It's-
the top of the
it's
top.
there.
It's there. Yeah. No, and the experience is also like, it's there. My parents asked me what I wanted for my birthday that year while I was studying at Columbia. And I said, can you help me fund my executive education at Harvard? And they're like, you're going to celebrate your birthday by studying. And I was like, yeah. They're like, ang lungkot naman.
You
So-
enjoy studying.
I do.
So-
I do. So that's how I got the Harvard one. And then MIT naman, I was working for NASA in the summer.
What? You worked for NASA?
Yes,
Gee,
yeah.
What are you doing?
I was working with their disaster applications team. We came up with a strategic communications program to get funding from the World Bank to continue their research into flash floods around the world.
Nice.
So while I was doing that, I applied to a quick summer program with MIT on social media. So social media marketing, because I knew that was near a campaign season. So I figured I might as well figure out yung best practices for social media marketing going into my mom's re-election in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for sure you knew what you wanted to do already.
Yeah.
Actually, yun yung tatanungin ko eh. I mean, now, later, I mean, like, when you got old, syempre you studied a lot. Was it also the same when you were young?
Studying a lot?
Yeah.
No, actually. Growing up, when I was in grade school, medyo nahihirapan ako because I had ADD. Plus, I am actually dyslexic.
We're the same.
So, but we're the most creative people.
Yeah.
So, technically, problem child ako until I was about 10 or whatever. But my parents were very patient with me. Kaya I'm paying back my dues, no? Problem child growing up, so now super responsible panganay.
Buti na lang ganun siya. Ako problem child growing up. Problem child pa rin.
Ay, hindi yan totoo, no ba?
Grabe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, hirap nun. ADHD, ADD tapos dyslexic.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you studying here then sa Philippines?
No, I grew up kasi in the States. So
Okay.
I was there until I was about 13 years old. So fortunately, they were very progressive with the after-school programs, especially for people who had trouble reading. At the time, my parents just thought that I was slow. They were like, oh, he's just, a little slow. And then they found out later on, one of my teachers was like, your son writes some of his letters and numbers backwards. You should check if he has dyslexia. So they diagnosed me, said that I had mild dyslexia, and I spent a lot of summers working on my reading. Now reading is a thing that I do all the time. So,
Did it still go back in dyslexia?
Not so
Not
much
so much
anymore,
now.
but it's the focus is more of a problem. Being able to focus on the readings, the material, the research, especially because my day job is working in the Senate, so all the research we have to do in the Senate, medyo mabigat din.
Buti na lang nakapag-focus ka pa. I mean, you had trouble focusing, and then now you went to these hard schools which requires a lot of focusing.
Yes.
So ngayon, second nature na lang na hindi focus na.
My dad kasi was the one who would teach me when I was growing up, and then whenever I would lose focus or I would struggle with what I'm doing, my dad would be like, I have ADD also, you have no excuse. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pero did you study in the Philippines?
I did. So my high school was LaSalle. so animo. And then I switched over for college. So I went to Ateneo for college.
Oh.
You studied college in here.
Yes, I did. So I did
Wow.
my undergrad sa Ateneo.
Okay. Ilan years ka sa Ateneo?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, except for the junior term abroad sa Fordham University.
Okay.
Grabe.
So 4 years sa college dito, and then how many years sa college sa States?
So my master's, funny story. I was applying for masteral programs, and my mom was saying, your master should only be 1 year. Hindi pwede 2 years. And I was like, bakit? And then she was saying, because I need you to be here by the election in 2019. Because I need you to be part of the campaign. So, sobrang nahirapan ako. But I was able to find a 1-year program. That's the Climate and Society program.
I see.
Grabe.
Go ahead.
Tulala ako sa dami ng like schools and studying.
Yeah.
So, I assume
di
lahat
ako
tong 1 year,
tumatag.
1 year, 2 years, 1 year?
Mostly, the executive programs are short.
Oh,
They range
okay.
anywhere from 1 week to, like, for example, yung pinakamahaba was yung sa Stanford.
No.
That one was a couple months. But I rushed it. So a lot of it was self-study. And I was talking with the program coordinator. And I was asking, as long as I submit the exams and the papers, I can finish this program within X number of days. And they're like, in theory, yes. But it's for 4 classes. I don't think you'll be able to do it. And I was like, no, I have to do it. Because if I don't, I won't make it to the Columbia program. They're like, we suggest you don't rush it. But if you want to, you can try. I did. I rushed that. I made it.
I see.
Congrats for that.
Let's
Thanks,
talk
man.
about let's talk about the last one, Oxford.
Yes.
Yeah. How was it?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was like studying at Hogwarts because you really were
I saw your
studying
story.
at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. I mean, like, there's so much history to Oxford. I mean, Oxford University is older than the Mayan civilization. So if you take that into consideration, the places where you're studying, like the schools and buildings, are the same buildings that people who invented modern day capitalism studied in, or world leaders that you read about in history books have also studied there. It's just nice being able to sit in the same place and feel transported back in time. But also, it's fun because pop culture wise, they'll explain, this is the infirmary from Hogwarts, if you remember. And, for all those fanboys out there.
You're a Harry Potter fan?
Well, my sisters are more Harry Potter fans.
Okay.
I recently became a Harry Potter fan just because of studying there.
Okay.
But for all the fanboys who are probably listening to this now, Emma Watson is taking her fellowship there.
Did you see her?
No.
Sayang,
I know.
sayang.
I was so sad. I was so heartbroken because it's funny. The school so when you apply to the program, they assign you a college. So that's like your house. Kumbaga, Slytherin or Gryffindor or whatever.
Ginaya talaga nila Harry Potter, no?
Ginaya talaga. So
Nice.
the house that was assigned to me, or the college assigned to me, is Lady Margaret Hall, which was the first women's college of Oxford that eventually became co-ed later on,
So mas maraming girls doon.
supposedly.
Okay.
And then, so that is where Emma Watson is taking her fellowship. And yet, I did not get to meet her. The
that
frustration. Grabe. Yeah. Oxford is huge.
Wow, sayang. I mean, that's everyone's dream to, be in Hogwarts and to meet Emma Watson.
Exactly. Those are the two. Be in Hogwarts. Well, get into Hogwarts and then meet Emma Watson.
Yes,
diba?
get
So,
into Hogwarts. Grabe.
Yeah.
What that sounds it sounds like a very fun experience.
Yes.
Pumunta muna sa sponsor ko for today. So, guys, our sponsor for today is Electric Garden, the first immersive dining restaurant in the country. Perfect place for dinner parties, celebrations. They serve modern, European, and Japanese fusion cuisine. Also known for the most inventive cocktails in BGC. Check out their Instagram page for more.
Hey,
Back to the show.
Speaking of Electric Garden, they
Yeah.
have that really cool back dining area that's like an immersive 5D kind of experience for them, the
Yes.
projectors and stuff.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Have they launched it?
I don't know if they've officially launched it yet, but I don't know.
Mini will be there for the 5D. One of the ano.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously?
One of it is gonna be mini.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but it's gonna be different. Lots
Well,
of different.
Elevated dining experience.
Yeah,
diba?
yeah. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I saw one of your posts.
Yes.
You know, let's shift a bit naman.
Sure.
To your ano. I saw that you were racing.
Yeah. Yes. For the SR1 Cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're also a racer. So, besides studying, we wanted to know what your hobbies were. I guess one of it is racing.
Anything that pumps adrenaline. So
Yeah, no.
shooting, racing, boxing. Yeah.
Okay.
Which one do you like more?
Ooh, that's tough. I'd have to say racing.
Wow.
I don't.
You're
think,
a car guy.
I didn't used to be that into it, but I'm such a bandwagoner that Drive to Survive really got me, man. Really got me.
I'm gonna lend him the Lotus.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
After the show.
Do it.
Emira.
Do it, man.
I will lend you the Emira.
It's a nice car.
It just won the parang a cup recently.
Yeah. Yung GT3 ano, cup.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause they have 2 Emiras there na GT3. It's nice.
You never you competed, right?
Yes, but I've never tried a Lotus.
Okay.
The closest I've ever gotten to that is Need for Speed.
But when you race, what do you usually use?
I used the SR1. So
The SR1s lang.
fortunately for me, thanks to Porsche Design, we were able to put together the first Porsche Design racing team in Asia.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
that gave me the opportunity to race with an SR1.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's fast though.
He does a lot. Multi-talented. You know, you grew up in the States and of course speeding there is awesome too. So I just want to ask, what made you want to come back to the Philippines?
Well, for me, it was more of our family. So when my grandfather passed away, that was the first time we really moved back permanently. And it was mostly because my mom didn't want to leave my grandmother alone. So she wanted to come back so she can take care of her. And my dad was like, well, you gave me 13 years here in the US. I'm very happy to go back and, support the family.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
your dad and you were really living there?
Yeah, no, the whole family was living there in the States.
Even your mom?
Even my mom and my sisters.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, it was more of my dad's vision to kind of live in the States and be independent of our respective families. But eventually, my mom wanted to move back, and my dad was like, "We did our time here in the U.S. I think it's time to go home."
Okay.
Yeah.
So back in the US, did you guys have a business there?
No, my dad was he was into like the tech kind of industry. So
Okay.
he took his master's in information technology. So he usually did the CTO kind of CIO role for companies. So he worked with like back in the .com boom, if people can still remember. He worked with a lot of the big companies. So AT&T, Nextel, IBM.
Oh, wow.
So really tech
big
guy.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah. During that time, I
see.
think they were like juggernauts. And then my mom, on the other hand, when I was growing up, to be close to me, she used to teach in a school where I was studying. And
Oh,
then-
wow.
Yeah, she started as a teacher, and then she did sales for a scientific company. So she sold scientific instruments. And it was a really humbling experience because like both my parents were working, and I used to have to stay in my mom's office after school. I used to sleep under her desk at the office.
Wow.
Yeah, because we couldn't go home. She had to like work extra hours, and I was done with school now, so I would study at the office. Her office mates would tutor me. Mga ganon.
So you're really close to your mom.
Super close. Like, my parents, kasi when I was born, they were 22, 23 respectively.
Okay.
So, I was growing up. My dad was playing PlayStation. I was watching it. Diba?
Cool.
So, yung unang Resident Evil, I was there watching my dad hiding while he would play, right? And then, so they grew up and with me, and now we work like best friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna go to that next topic. How is it working? Right now, you're under your mother right now here.
Yeah.
So from school to work,
Yeah.
magkasama kayo.
Well, I mean, here in
Yeah.
the Philippine context, business and profession is very family oriented, right? So a lot of us work with our families.
Yes.
And so we have to navigate that dynamic. For some, it's easier. For some, it's harder. For me, it's a funny story. So I came back, became campaign manager of her campaign in 2019. And it was around that time that she asked me if I could stay on board just for a while to serve as chief of staff until she could find a new chief of staff. And I said, okay, sige, I'll serve for a little bit. Anyway, I grew up with the office. I mean, every campaign cycle, ito yung mga kasama ko. So fine, I'll do it. And then she was like, great. And I said, okay, but in one condition. It's either I stay here in the house or I work with you in the office because I can't do both. Because if I stay here in the house, work will never stop. Like, either you're going to come to me and give me work or I'm going to go to you and give you work. Baka it won't be a healthy setup. And she said, okay, I'll see you in the office.
So you guys don't stay together anymore?
No. And, you know, it's healthier that way.
Yeah, of course. It's too, kung laging magkasama,
If magkaka-friction.
magkaka-friction talaga. Yeah. So, right now, you're working for him. Did she convince you to, like, stay on the job and take this path? Or is it you who wanted to follow her path too? Or are you going to take that path?
I've always been very passionate about public service. And not for anything, but I didn't know because growing up, I didn't really know what my family was like here in the Philippines. I'd visit for Christmas, but I wasn't really very aware of how popular my grandfather and grandmother were on my mom's side.
So you didn't know even though growing up, like...
Ang sinasabi lang sa akin was that my grandfather and grandmother were actors here in the Philippines. And I was like, growing up, I was like, okay, cool, right? Pero I never knew that they were like the king and queen, like on that
You
level.
never,
talaga.
you never got curious when you were growing up.
No, it was more of just, to me, they were just Paparani and Mama Susan. Like, I would run around the house and, you know, play with them, but it was never really like, whoa, right? Pero when I came back in 2004, when my grandfather passed away, we were going to his wake, and I distinctly remember the line of people snaking
so
around to say goodbye. And I was like asking my dad, I was like, what's going on? And he was saying that these are the fans of your grandfather. And I guess something about his passing and seeing that dedication that his fans had for him really touched me. And it became more of like, how can I give back for all the years na Filipinos have been supporting our family in showbiz? And public service seemed like a pretty clear answer to how we could give back and say thank you.
I see.
Being an actor was never a part of that plan.
You know, I tried.
Oh, you did put it. Good thing you did.
At least,
I tried. Didn't really work for me. I'm too much of a nerd.
Oh,
So,
hindi, sige. Walk us through that experience. Sige.
Okay.
Curious ako.
so I was with Star Magic.
Okay.
I did
Ooh,
I did
a lot of people.
Interesting.
I swear. It's like a rite of passage for a lot of people. Pero masaya naman yung experience with Star Magic. I started with the public workshops. As in, nagpila ako to join the public
you
workshops.
went talaga.
Yeah, and then naawa sa akin. They were like, no, what are you doing in the line? Come here. So I did the public workshops, and then after that, I got promoted to join the other artistas in the professional workshops. And then I was given my first project, which I will not mention.
Why not?
If they want to find it, they can find it. But
Yeah,
Please
true.
post
That's
it
true.
over here.
right against self-incrimination. Yeah. But it was a fun experience, but I guess it wasn't for me.
Okay, I see. I wanted to touch another topic here. How is the company alike these days?
Oh, how's it like? Well, Alik's going through its growing pains. I think that any company that expands beyond a certain point, we'll see changes in organization, in leadership, and vision. And I think it's all part of the process. I think anyone that's been in the startup game knows
Correct.
that once your company hits a certain point of growth, things are going to start to change. So I'm excited.
Future is big.
The future is big. Future in media, as long as the team is dedicated, will always be big because there will always be stories to share.
I see.
Yeah.
Nice. Exactly. I really like that company of
Yeah.
yours. Speaking of companies, what other companies do you have here in the Philippines?
Well, we have quite a few.
Your personal.
With Pantheon Holdings, the ones that we personally manage, for example, is Emporium. So Emporium is our retail company. It's the company that houses Time Master watches, which was my first company. We also do corporate gifting. So if you guys need corporate gifts, hit us up. That's a big part of my fourth quarter stress because of Christmas. And then, so that's our retail company. We also have Oracle Media Group. So Oracle Media Group is our media holding company. That's the company that has Alike in its portfolio. A couple news agencies, the Manila Journal, Rapid News, Negosyante News.
So you manage all these.
They're all
businesses.
managed within teams.
Okay.
So otherwise, I would just
Damn, you have a lot of things to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a diverse portfolio. And
Yeah.
in fact, I think that's both a strength and a weakness. Because you're diversified, right? One market doesn't do well, you have issues here. You can rely on your other legs. But a weakness also because, like ideally you want that one company that is your company, right? And that is the push, that's the one that's the breadwinner, etc. But for us,
Correct.
we're so diversified that it's not too clear which one is that. Because like, for example, fourth quarter, every year, Emporium brings in the cash for the holding company. Because of course, it's Christmas, everyone's giving out gifts, etc. The rest of the year, it's sleeping, right? Unless, of course, Father's Day, Mother's Day, mga events, but those are little blips. Meanwhile, the steady workhorse of the organization is really our reputation management firm. That's A3, A-Team 360. So A-Team 360, we handle reputation management for corporations, for private individuals, etc. That one is consistent because reputation management doesn't have a season. Any time of the year, you'll need help with branding, crisis management, marketing, PR. We have it all in-house.
Wow.
Nice. Sobrang
Ron,
dami.
he is very busy and he is just very multi-talented.
Yes.
I don't know.
What can't you do,
Oo
man?
nga, I don't know how you fit all of that in your day.
Well, I can't play tennis, and I apparently am not allowed to sleep. So those are the two trade-offs.
Is that your biggest frustration now? What's your biggest frustration right now?
My biggest frustration is I can't take a vacation.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard to take
I know
time
the
off.
feeling.
The only time I get a chance is when my boss in the Senate says that it's a family vacation, no questions asked.
Oh, okay.
That's the only time. And I'm like, game. All my sisters are like, oh, but I want to stay here with my friends. I want to go to the beach with them, whatever. Me naman, I'm like, how do I pack my bags? Where do you want me to be?
Yeah.
Speaking of the Senate, your mom, or I guess your parents, they put you through college there. So how will you bring yung mga pinag-aralan mo doon here
Yes.
in the Philippines? Is it very different? Or is it possible to apply yung mga natutunan mo to here?
It's very possible to apply, but it's a question of political will, I guess, because a lot of the things that we need to implement in terms of climate change or sustainability is very political in nature.
Okay.
No, it's I guess government takes the first step, private sector follows after, right? So things like forecast-based financing, where you look at the weather patterns like El Nino, La Nina, or the dry season, or monsoon seasons, and you, based on that, give crop insurance, etc., for farmers to make sure that, if a super typhoon wipes out your crop, you don't go further into debt.
Yeah.
That's a very political thing,
Correct.
but and very applicable here in the Philippines. But of course, there are other things that are a bit out of reach. Like, for example, using satellite scans to be able to determine, centralized agriculture. Bit of a stretch, but kaya naman. But very applicable here. Everything that I learned while I was studying at Columbia University, I put into my book, A Sustainable Future. The purpose of me studying there wasn't naman to just expand my personal resume. It was more, what could I study abroad that's badly needed back here?
Correct.
Otherwise, pare, dapat ng MBA ako. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have helped my businesses, but at the end of the day, more than the work I do in my businesses, it's about public service.
Nice. I see. A lot of people are telling me that one day you'll run for president.
Or any
public
position.
office.
I don't
Any
know.
position.
I feel like that's more of a destiny thing than like a I will it to existence kind of thing.
I see. Anyways, we have a. Wait, do you have plans on running for like public office? And it doesn't have to be,
Right.
you know.
Right. Well, I mean, first, it depends on my boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. I mean, I recognize the fact that my mom can do the most good, right? So whatever role she needs me to serve in, I will serve in that role,
I
right? Because if I can help her, she'll help a lot more people. But what I learned from working all these years in politics is, you just have to be ready in case you get the calling to serve. And more than anything, dapat deserving ka talaga. Like, that's why I'm always studying. That's why I'm always working on these different projects, NGOs, foundations, para
You're
if
staying
ever
ready.
I get a chance to serve, hindi nila pwede sabihin na, ba't biglaan?
Nilagay ka lang, oo.
Diba?
Oo.
Like, bigla ka na lang naging public servant.
Yeah.
But if you look at my track record, ever since, I've always been
Fantastic.
here. Yeah.
Yes. That's it about. One thing we did before we ended the show with we did a podcast before with Mark Leviste.
Oh.
And then we asked him to. Are you familiar with the elevator pitch?
Yeah, like 2-3 minutes about something.
No, like
10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay.
About something like you're gonna pitch yourself to the people why
Yeah.
they'd vote for you for president, or not even for president, for
Yeah.
senator or for
Right,
mayor
right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you down to do that?
Well, I mean, like, I don't think I'm gonna ask them to vote for me, but maybe support our foundation.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You wanna do that? 10
10 seconds?
10 seconds, yeah.
Do you have 10
Yeah.
seconds?
Wait. What
Which
are-
camera am I looking at?
That
I'm
one.
looking
Go
at this
ahead.
one. All right.
I'll time you, and
Okay.
we'll see how fast you can do it.
Baka
Ready?
mamaya short lang.
No, I hope I can do it.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hi everyone, I'd like to ask you to support FPJ Panday Bayanihan. We've been doing good since 2013 and will continue to do good for the country until the future.
No, that's 9 seconds.
Sakto lang.
Point
Right?
Very
Right?
good.
9.9.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah.
All those schools paid off.
Hey man, it's my time with Final Pitch. That's what fixed it.
Speaking of Spinal Pitch, you had that TV show, right?
Yeah.
Is it coming back?
Well, Final Pitch is gonna do their 10th season, and I
Yeah.
hear it's gonna be like the most exciting season. Personally, I don't think I'll be able to come back because it's a lot of time.
Time off.
Yeah, and to do this last season, it was really a struggle for me personally to balance that plus work, plus the businesses and everything. So, in true spirit of being selfless, give chance to others. Diba?
Yeah.
So,
Galing talaga.
Diba?
Galing.
Yeah, so give chance to
Very
others tayo.
humble.
Thank you very much for doing the show.
Of
Yes.
course.
Thank you for being
Would you
a
like to
guest.
add your socials before we end the show?
Yeah, please follow me at Hey It's Brian Poe on Instagram. Also, newly on TikTok, so check that out.
Do you dance on TikTok? I'm just kidding.
Well, what do you do?
Yes, I do actually dance on TikTok.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Everyone does.
So if you want to see the more fun side to me, it's on TikTok.
Okay.
If you want the more, I guess, portfolio type, it's on
on Instagram.
But if you want updates on what we're doing in terms of public service, you'll find that on Facebook.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Please follow Dashboard Confessions. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, I'm Wayne. You can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram too. And before we go, any other companies or you want to plug in or something?
Oh, yeah. We have an exciting new partnership in Oracle Media Group with Aspire Magazine.
Oh wow!
So Aspire Magazine is a Dubai-based publication. So we're now their official distributor here in the
Congrats.
Philippines. Thank you. And we have an exciting new partnership coming up soon with an LA-based publication.
Oh
Wow.
So
So
I'll
that's
keep you
what's
guys
next for you.
posted. Well, in terms of the media company,
Okay.
yes.
For you personally, what's next?
For me personally, rest.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Christmas, guys.
We cannot wait to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the show.
All right. Thank you.
See you on the
See you
next.
in the next one. Bye.
See you guys.
Brian Poe Llamanzares.